Welcome to Direct to Video, a podcast where we review poor sequels to great movies. I'm really happy that I wasn't recording because then I don't get to talk about my birthday on this podcast, except I just did.
You just did. Way to fucking go. Happy birthday, Andy. Welcome to the podcast.
Okay, I actually took meticulous notes on this movie.
The first one or the second one?
The second one. I took sparse notes on the first one because I don't want to talk about it for too long.
Oh man, I also don't want to talk about it for too long, but we have to talk about it a little.
My biggest issue is that I could talk about it for hours, and it's hours of awful. It's bad. It's bad.
Do we want to introduce ourselves or just jump into it? We should probably introduce ourselves.
Yeah, let's get this started from the top then. So
right, so you're gonna cut out the birthday part.
Yes, I'm still doing that. All references to birthday will be replaced by a sound clip from this awful movie. This is not a challenge, by the way.
I
don't make me work.
I'm trying real hard not to open it with "Welcome to Direct to Video VHS. Happy birthday, Andy." I still want that to be our unofficial subtitle.
Oh man. Okay. Yes. Welcome to Direct to Video. I am your host, Andres Reyes.
I am also your host, Tony Robusto.
Very professional. We're very professional here.
I thought so. Happy birthday, Andy.
God fucking damn it. Okay, so
that one would be real easy to cut though. Just so easy. Just cut that clip right out of there.
You know what? The more we talk about it though, the harder it gets. So moving right along.
Okay, moving right along.
This week we watched Peter Pan and Peter Pan in Return to Neverland.
In Return to Neverland. That's so weird. Okay, I mean I get it, but
so we have to talk about Peter Pan.
Yeah, well, we had to watch Peter Pan, so we better talk about it. 'Cause, damn, that was an ordeal.
It is a very boring movie.
It is. When it opens, there's, bad choir music. And there's, 5 minutes of credits. And this is the least offensive part of the movie.
Yeah, well, and yeah, that's the thing, is for the most part, the movie's really, really boring. And then the movie kind of, if I didn't know it was there, it kind of would have felt really out of left field because it just goes from zero to racism and stereotypes so quickly.
What the fuck? Well, I don't even think that, actually, because there's a moment early in the movie where Hook offhandedly calls the Indians the Redskins. And, he could be racist because he's the bad guy, but he's, children's character-y bad, so it sort of lets you know that the whole movie's gonna be racist.
It's pretty egregious.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. But I kind of, before we started, wanted to cover this early scene before they get to Neverland. Because there's a lot to pick out of this.
Out of the interactions between the kids and the parents?
Yeah. So, Mrs. Darling believes in Peter Pan, which is already a weird start.
Well, no, she believes that Peter Pan is, and I think the narrator says, a symbol of, the youthful spirit or something ridiculous like that. Yeah, the spirit of children or something, yeah. Something dumb.
And Mr. Darling is, I don't know if he's put upon or if he's just the biggest asshole.
It's poppycock.
I know, and it's ridiculous. I mean, yeah, your kids are playing make-believe, but that's okay, that's... Also, they have a dog whose name is Nana, who is their Nana, and she is the hardest working dog in, I think, any Disney movie.
She works pretty hard. I don't know, the dogs in the Aristocats work pretty hard for no reason.
It's been years since I've seen the Aristocats, because I think I saw it once, and I was like, well, that was a movie.
Oh, you didn't like it? It's one of my favorites.
I don't think so. It was so long ago, though. I mean, I was a kid. We probably just somebody else in the house didn't like it, and I was like, okay.
Aristocats is one of my favorites. This movie, however,
ugh. I didn't know when I watched this movie that it was racist.
I never liked this movie.
I didn't like this movie, I'll say that, but I was not aware that, the first time you see Indians in this movie, their arms coming out of trees, and the second time they start every sentence with how.
Oh man, that whole everything.
I know, it's
terrible. It's unredeemable. There's no defending it, because even at the time it was seen as a racist stereotype, but they went and did it anyway. because it was the 50s and you could get away with just doing that.
Right, absolutely. It was so bad. But the other thing is, so let's spend as little time as we can on the Indians, because we can all agree that was a bad idea to put into a movie, and they spent too much time basically messing around with this super racist stereotype.
Oh, way too much time. A whole musical number.
It felt like a third of the movie.
I think it is. One of my housemates told me that in recent cuts of the film, they just cut out all of that stuff, and it makes the movie like barely 40 minutes long.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's gotta be like nothing. That's what I was thinking when I was watching it. I was like, I feel like there should be an edit of this where this isn't in here, but it's too long. That's too much of the movie.
Not only that, but it's so tied into it's like it has nothing to do with the plot of the movie, but so many things happen in between all of this stuff that if you cut it all out, a lot of the movie doesn't make sense.
The scenes have to be there, or something has to be there.
For continuity purposes. Yeah, there's like, this movie it's boring. It's not worth watching unless you're like a Disney historian. It's completely forgettable.
Which we have sort of built ourselves up to be at this point. Episode 3, Disney historians.
A couple of facts about this film that I thought was interesting. Disney wanted to make a Peter Pan film the moment they were done with Snow White. He wanted it to be their second film, but he had a lot of trouble getting the rights.
Sure. Yeah, because Barry gave them to a hospital.
Yes, a children's hospital. When he finally secured the rights. A quick aside, when you search Peter Pan on IMDb, you get the superior 2003 live-action film.
I can't say I've seen it.
It's fantastic.
You finish after you're finished telling me all these facts, I need to talk about if any of these characters are remotely likable, because like it's something that's really eaten at me.
Yeah, so just repeating what I was saying, he wanted to do this movie. Walt Disney wanted to do this movie since after Snow White. The play Peter Pan was one of his favorite plays, and the film was actually 3 important landmarks for Disney Animated Studios. It was the last Disney film in which all of the 9 old men worked on it.
Oh, really?
I think after this, 2 of them left. It was the last full-length Disney animated film to be distributed by RK Radio Pictures. After this, it was all Buena Vista. And it was the final Disney animated film that Ward Kimball worked on.
It's a lot of lasts, this movie.
Yeah, this movie is kind of an important landmark in Disney history. It came out in 1953, and it really shows.
Yeah, it does.
It really shows that it came out in 1953. Holy shit.
I think this movie and probably Dumbo are the 2 movies that haven't aged well, like at all.
Dumbo is at least watchable.
Oh, I never thought Dumbo was watchable, even as a little kid. But I don't think we'll ever have to talk about that because I don't think they made a sequel.
Yeah, I don't think they did.
Yep.
Okay, so you wanted to talk about the characters?
Oh, I did, but I actually had my own little fact that I sort of knew about. I don't remember where I learned this, but I know it's true. So, in the original Peter Pan book, you don't need pixie dust to fly. And it was added in the play so kids wouldn't hurt themselves by trying to think of, like, Christmas time and jumping off a roof.
Yeah, it's, the play production and the Disney film added a lot to the original story. It was a very popular book, and it was a lot of it was just so that kids wouldn't attempt to, say, go to Neverland, because originally Neverland was you could get there by sea. Second star on the left, straight on till morning.
That's nautical terms. In the second one, they subvert that by having you actually like fly into the star and it like magically opens up
into a kaleidoscope.
But in the first one, they're still just flying to some island that is presumably, like, I don't know, around the Americas? Like in the Caribbean, maybe? Just some tiny island with pirates and native people.
They offhand mentioned that there are cannibals on the island as well, which, really glad that they didn't go there, because I can only handle one racist stereotype per movie.
That's the thing that was, like, I was thinking about. So Peter Pan is like this weird immortal imp child, and he terrorizes Captain Hook and these like rando regular people who just live there, and he kidnaps children, and it kind of seems like makes them forget about their parents?
There's a lot about Peter Pan that's in the play that is completely kind of, and in the book that's completely kind of erased from the movie. The function of the play is that Peter Pan is like a symbol for the fear of growing up, and he's actually a very devilish character in the play. Like, he straight up kills lost boys that grow up.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought. But in this version, the lost boys don't seem to grow up, period.
Which was a good choice on Disney's part to do that,
instead
I think.
Of having their main character a murderer. But that's the thing. The way they took him... Actually, you know what? Let me start with my least favorite character of this movie, Tinkerbell.
Go on.
Do you remember the first thing you learned about Tinkerbell, Andy?
In the film?
Yeah.
She thinks she has too big of a butt.
Yeah, that's the first thing you learn is that she's vain. And then she is like way more sexualized than I ever realized as a kid.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
like skeevy as hell, and I'm like sitting there thinking, if that were a full-grown woman being spanked, it would not be a Disney movie.
No, it wouldn't.
It would be a movie that you watch alone in the dark. Your secret shame.
I should say, though, I did watch Peter Pan alone in the dark, extremely ashamed, because holy shit.
Oh, I mean, me too, but for different reasons.
You watched it alone in the dark for different reasons?
Yeah, then I watch other women being spanked alone. Look, it's let's not get into this.
Oh, man. The truth will out. Oh, man, I'm...
Okay, so Tinkerbell is vain. Then you learn she's an attempted murderer. Those are the two things you learn about her.
Well, also she can make people fly.
And that she is like super into Peter Pan in a way.
She's very protective of him, and the movie does not at all address whether it is a romantic or lustful protection or if it's like a motherly protection. They don't differentiate which one of the two it is, but it comes off as being very romantic relationship-y.
It does seem like almost a romantic relationship thing. And also, she seems like she loves him in the very dangerous way that when you love something, you think of it as yours.
This whole movie is kind of filled with toxic relationships.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Actually, one of my, and we're probably going to address this later, but one of my I just need to say it now. One of my favorite lines from the second movie is when Captain Hook thinks he's killed Peter Pan and he says, "I'm free." And I was like, oh man, I really want to run down the characters and why I dislike them. Because it's important because the characters change in the second movie. So, Tinkerbell is completely unlikable and terrible. Captain Hook seems like he's going to be a good villain. Because when you first see him, you learn that he is obsessed with Peter Pan, that he controls a bunch of mutinous pirates purely through fear, and that he will kill them just offhand. And then you learn that he has a secret bane in a crocodile that ate his hand and that wants to eat the rest of them. But then, every time he actually goes into a fight, he is just slapped around.
Yeah, he's completely and utterly powerless.
Yeah, that's the thing. If he was a powerful character, and pretty much the only way to beat him was to use the crocodile or something like that, if he had one weakness, that would make him a really cool character. But in this, he's just not, because Peter Pan, now this is the biggest problem, Peter Pan is like a fan fiction character. He's like your Sonic original character that's cooler than Sonic.
I mean, he can fly.
He can fly.
He's amazing at sword fighting.
He's the best sword fighter, and he uses a smaller sword than everybody else, and he still wins. And all the girls love him, and he doesn't even notice. It's just that he's so full of himself that he almost lets his little Indian girl die because he's too busy messing with Captain Hook.
He not even messing with him at that point. He's just reveling in his victory.
Yeah, it's just, that's why I dislike all of the characters. I will also say this. I'm trying to see if there's anything in this list of stuff that I want to say before this last thing. Oh, okay. So Hook gets that Disney fall death, except that he doesn't. And I guess that kind of didn't do it for me.
I believe this was the era of Disney when Disney was really, really not... They were really afraid of making films too dark.
Yeah, so they made them goofy, basically.
Yeah, so they really copped out on his death, and also just a lot of moments in the film that are way too silly for me.
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit too cartoony for a Disney film. Like, a little bit too, like, Looney Tunes-esque, if you get my meaning.
We'll talk more about that, I think, once we get to the second film.
Yeah, because the second film kind of pushes that even more.
But it pushes it to a place that's satisfying.
I will say this before I even get into it. I did not love the cartoony stuff in the second film, but I was ready to accept it a lot more. The second film was just a lot better in a lot of ways. So, then there's this reveal at the end of the movie that Mr. Darling had been in Neverland.
Yeah, that he remembers.
Yeah, and that would have been more meaningful to me if I didn't now believe Neverland to be a hellscape.
To be this terrible, horrible, dystopian island that he probably escaped from by murdering a man.
Yeah, probably. I mean, this place is nuts. There's one final thing. One final thing I need to say. There is a moment when Hook thinks he's killed Peter Pan, and Peter Pan comes back, and some of the crewmen shout, "It's his ghost!" And I was like, "I am the ghost of Peter Pan! Run for your lives!"
I immediately flashed back to Pocahontas too, and I was like, man, now I'm unsure if the whole Ghost of John Smith thing was like an homage to that, because it could have been.
Oh, I hope it wasn't. Also, I never realized that Never Smile at a Crocodile wasn't in this movie. So, have you ever heard the song Never Smile at a Crocodile?
I have not.
Oh, really? See, I went to a school where we had music classes.
Well, look at me, I went to a school that had music classes.
And to keep... Well, I don't know if you did. To keep all the kids interested in music classes, we would do Disney songs. And one of the ones was Never Smile at a Crocodile, which is from the Peter Pan movie. Except it's actually not. You only hear... There's only the tick-tock that is in the...
I think that song might be from the play then.
Oh, it could be. Because it's like, never smile at a crocodile. And it's like, it's the same rhythm as the
alarm clock?
As the alarm clock. When, like, you can see Hook's eyes bug out at the same rhythm of the song.
I really liked that. I thought that was really nice.
Here's the thing. That song, I would have loved that song instead of almost every other song in this movie.
Yeah, every song in this movie is forgettable, largely because they're not really songs. It's more just the characters having a conversation in a rhythm.
There's exactly one song in this movie that isn't forgettable, and I wish I could forget it.
Because it is horribly racist.
Yes, it is. Like, very racist. But now if anybody ever says Red Man, I'll think of it. And I hope nobody says Red Man, don't get me wrong. I don't want to be in that conversation either.
Just if I'm ever in a conversation and somebody says Red Man, I'm assuming that a man is walking by covered in red paint. Any other situation, I'm exiting that conversation.
Don't be taken in by his welcome grin. He's imagining how you would look within his skin. You don't know that song?
No, I've never heard this song.
Ah, it's a great song.
I'm gonna have to check it out for sure.
Well, it's not like a great song, but it's catchy, and it could have made this movie slightly better. And this movie needed the help. Okay, why don't you do your overview so we can get on to the second one now.
The story is pretty simple. Just, Wendy and her brothers, whose names escape me.
Yeah, I can't remember either of their names either.
I think one of them's name is Thomas.
Sure, maybe.
But then that could also just be young Thomas from Pocahontas. Like, I don't remember anymore.
Oh, young Thomas.
Keep both your eyes open. You can shoot twice as well. So...
I can't believe you just remembered that line.
All right, what was I saying? Wendy and her brothers got into a large fight with their father over the fact that they play pretend. And Peter Pan comes and picks them up so that they can go off to Neverland where they don't have to grow up. But with the condition that Wendy has to be their mother, which is a weird-ass condition.
Well, I think Peter doesn't really get what mothers are, so...
True. He also doesn't know what a kiss is, which is kind of a plot point, but also not a plot point at all.
It's not a plot point at all, because he sort of almost gets one, and then that's it. Here's the thing, they definitely have both mothers and kisses on Neverland. There are people there. Okay, it's not important. Just keep going.
So it's so hard because like everything you talk about in this movie all of it just leads back to just how terrible it is. So Wendy and Peter Pan go off and meet the mermaids. Thomas and the kids go off and do horrible racist things. And then Tinkerbell gets banished for trying to murder Wendy. Tinkerbell ends up teaming up with Captain Hook and makes Captain Hook promise to not lay a hand or a hook on Peter Pan. When Wendy and the kids get back, Wendy reminds them all how cool it is to have a mom, and they all get really sad and they all want to leave. That night, right now, and Peter Pan goes off in a huff, like, I can't believe anyone would want to grow up. It sounds terrible, like the little shit that he is.
Yeah, he's a fucker.
Wendy and the kids get kidnapped by Captain Hook and get taken back to the ship. Captain Hook, the honorable man that he is, does not lay a hand or a hook on Peter Pan. He instead drops a gift inside the tree that you then find out is a bomb. Good on you, Captain Hook. Loopholes are your thing.
It's weird, right? That this is what he chooses to be honorable about. And that's sort of, so in the whole movie, you're sort of seeing how Peter Pan thinks of it as a game and Captain Hook doesn't. But in that way, it's almost like he does think of it as a game. Because he'll just shoot a guy, no problem.
Yeah, it's a very confusing thing.
Yeah.
But lots of things in this movie just don't make sense. They all get kidnapped and taken to the ship, and they assume Peter Pan is dead, and Wendy and the kids are told that they either have to join the pirate crew or they'll be made to walk the plank. And Wendy, of course, decides to walk the plank because fuck these pirate assholes. Tinkerbell, after realizing that there is a bomb in Peter Pan's tree, escapes and goes to save him in the least climactic scene ever, where it explodes and Peter Pan goes and gets her. There is no tension whatsoever, and then they fly off to save Wendy. And then they save Wendy.
That's the thing. When everybody was captured, except for Peter Pan, I was thinking, well, now Peter Pan's gonna save him. Like...
Because he's the perfect man. Nothing goes wrong with him.
No dramatic tension.
There's no tension in this film. Things just happen.
Right. There's no moment where you're, like, holding your breath, you know?
It's boring. This movie's just boring.
It's just boring, yeah.
Peter Pan saves Wendy and the kids, defeats Captain Hook. Captain Hook gets chased away by a crocodile with Shmee, and the crew following behind on their rowboat. Mr. Shmee. If anything, Captain Hook has an amazing voice actor.
Here's the thing. I almost liked Captain Hook, and it was weird. I could feel myself like almost liking him, but being torn away from that by the fact that he was just so bad at his job.
He's bad at being a villain.
He's just gotta kill Peter Pan, right? And he doesn't get close, ever. And it's like, well, all villains gotta get close.
Yeah, there's just no tension in this movie because, like, Peter Pan saves Wendy, and he takes her back home, and the Lost Boys don't go with her because, quote, they just weren't ready yet. Whatever the fuck that means.
Well, they weren't ready to grow up, I guess.
The movie ends completely in status quo because
completely
I don't know
in status
why.
quo, because her father comes back and he's like, "Oh, I overreacted. You can still have a dog nanny.
You don't have to leave the nursery.
You don't have to grow up so quick." And it's like, well, she's ready to grow up now. What are you doing?
I get that the lesson, the whole lesson of the play is that children should be ready to grow up, but they shouldn't be in a rush.
Yeah. No, I understand, but like...
This movie just completely shits the bed with it.
It does. It's terrible. By comparison, I found myself comparing Jane to Wendy a lot. I like Jane's arc a lot better.
It's an arc that has at least some change, although they do kind of bugger it up a little bit.
I won't say it's perfect. It was a sequel to a terrible movie that came out 50 years after the original. I mean, it's not gonna be great.
Literally 50 years, like almost on the dot.
I thought it came out in like 2008.
Oh, did it? I read 2003. I could be wrong. I could have been
seeing
the wrong date.
It's either 50 or 55. Either way, a long time.
It's a good number to hit. Let's see here, IMDb, my one-stop shop for interesting information.
Yeah, we should really just have IMDb open on the computer at all times when recording.
I had it open all of the Pocahontas episode just because there were so many characters whose names I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I was listening back and you couldn't find...
Yeah, I'm not going to bother trying to remember the name either, so don't.
Yeah, but you couldn't find him because you didn't have a voice actor. Is it Uda Matamakin?
Yes, Uda Matamakin.
I listened to that episode twice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it wasn't because it was, like, super entertaining, because I already knew what we said, but, like, I felt like I needed to know. Like, I needed to be sure.
Oh, it actually came out in 2002.
We were both wrong. So, about 50 years, though.
49 years. So, as a quick wrap-up, don't watch Peter Pan. It's not a great movie. It's extremely flawed in the ways that a lot of movies that came out in the 50s were, and when it comes to, you know,
it will make
racism.
You feel bad if you ever did this as a kid, because I did, and I felt really bad. Like, really bad. I just watched this movie, and I was like, I was part of the problem.
Yeah, if you want to watch a great Peter Pan movie, the 2003, I think it was Paramount Pictures film is fantastic. Walter Isaacs is in it. He was Lucius Malfoy in the Harry Potter movies. And he plays both Mr. Darling and Captain Hook, and he is fan-fucking-tastic.
Here's the thing. In the Disney movie, I thought Mr. Darling looked a little bit like Captain Hook, and I couldn't tell if that was on purpose. I sort of love that they did that for the...
It's a holdover from the play.
Oh, is it? In the play, is he double cast?
Yes, in the play it's double casted, Captain Hook and Mr. Darling.
That's a great idea.
The movie doesn't capitalize on it as much because Mr. Darling only kind of looks like Captain Hook.
Yeah, but it's like a little bit striking, and I could not tell if it was, on purpose. They didn't do like with The Wizard of Oz, where everybody is clearly somebody who was in Dorothy's life. I don't know why I called back to that particular movie, but here we are.
I didn't like Wizard of Oz.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it didn't strike with me. I think it's a good first movie.
It's a good piece of movie history.
Yeah, for one of the first color movies ever, it did something really cool with it.
And it was really well done. We shouldn't be talking about this. Whatever. It's one of my sister's like favorite movies. That's just I've seen it a lot.
So right off the bat, just let's get into it. Peter Pan: Return to Neverland.
So the opening in this scene is all callbacks to the original movie. There's less focus on art and more focus on the music and effects. And the cover of that Second Star song is a lot more catchy than their original version. And it was just altogether stronger, I think.
The homage to the original movie, if I had not just watched it, I would have fondly remembered the original movie because of how well they did that.
Yeah, the homage was good, but here's the problem. The original movie was terrible. That's the thing. If the original movie had been good, that would have been great. But
that's the thing, though, is if it had been years since I watched the original Peter Pan, and I just kind of picked this up to show my kids, I would have fondly remembered that movie. But it hadn't. It had been a mere hours.
Jeez. Oh, man. Okay.
Also, right off the bat, that opening was done very obviously in CGI, and it looks fantastic. The CGI in this film is, for the most part, hit or miss, but that makes it loads better than most CGI in cartoons.
Yeah, I didn't hate the CGI in this film, especially with all the, like, cloud stuff, and it was clearly not as good as the first Peter Pan, where everything was very, like, meticulously drawn out, but I thought it was a good way to sort of represent the original and pull us in. I didn't mind it. And once again, you have to forgive some CGI in a movie that has like a tenth of the budget of its original.
Yeah, CGI is very cheap. I find that really weird because from what I hear, CGI is just as intensive a job.
Yeah, I have no idea why it's cheaper. I'm not going to be the one who's going to be able to explain that.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I've been meaning to look into, but I don't know enough about the industry to know why. So the introduction of Peter Pan in this movie is a very obvious homage to Peter Pan's introduction in the first movie, but he looks way less evil.
Well, we're skipping all the way to the introduction because...
Of Peter Pan. Peter Pan's first scene in the film is like at the very beginning.
Oh, where he's like waving from the ship?
Yeah, he's waving goodbye to Wendy, and the ship is
Right.
the size of a skateboard.
Yeah, but yes, he does look less creepy. His face is more like rounded, I feel like.
They softened up his features a lot.
Yeah, he looks a little bit less elven, so he doesn't look like some kind of monster that steals children away.
Which he is.
He is. I mean, in the first movie, the dog had chased him away from the nursery because she was protecting the kids.
Yeah, and she stole his shadow.
Yeah, damn right she did. Tore it right off of him.
Like, who just loses their shadow? So...
Nana's a hardworking dog.
Nana is a hardworking dog. So is Nana 2, the sequel.
Okay, so that was my first big problem with this movie. I thought Nana 2 was a bit on the nose.
I wrote on my notes, Nana 2, what the fuck is this nonsense?
Yes, but there's a much harsher beginning in this movie. It's not about learning that it's okay to grow up. It's about a little girl who had to grow up very fast because she is in London in the middle of the Blitz and her dad left.
Yeah, this movie starts off really dark so in the beginning, Peter Pan waves goodbye to Wendy and you have a narrator going, all these stories start the same. End the same.
Yeah, end the same.
And Wendy waves goodbye and Peter Pan sounding a lot like Peter Pan from the original movie, so good on you, Disney, for that casting.
Yeah,
says,
not bad.
Goodbye, Wendy. And Wendy, in the shittiest recast I have ever heard in a child voice actor from a Disney film, says bye, Peter. Like, holy crap.
Says, I'll always remember you.
I'll always remember you. It sounds so bad.
Or I'll always believe in you.
Something to that effect.
The point is, it's not great.
She delivers it very poorly. Then, Wendy grows up.
And Wendy is dressed like Belle the whole time. And that was weird.
It was weird.
Like, there's only so many adult Disney female characters. Like, less than 20? And they could have come up with different clothes. And by characters, I mean protagonists.
Her husband, who has a name, Edward, goes to war. And then we, fade into just all of a sudden London is bombed out. Their house is still immaculate, however, completely untouched.
I mean, I guess they're just lucky. It happens.
And Jane is coming home from, we later learn, the store.
Oh, is she coming home from the store?
Yeah.
Because she got socks.
Yeah, she got her brother the worst gift ever.
Okay, but it's the fucking Blitz. Maybe she felt like he needed some socks.
Socks that were too big so that he could grow into them.
Yeah, Wendy's completely aware that she has lost the plot at this point. I have in my notes in capital letters, for the love of God, someone grab that kid and stuff her in a bomb shelter. Because that's the right thing to do and nobody did it.
No. Soldiers.
Like those sirens start going
right
off, you get her down, you get her underground.
Yeah, for a character who's all about being an adult and growing up, that was sure a very stupid, childish decision to run through London while bombs are dropping.
Yeah, well, she doesn't, she might be grown up, but kids have this idea that they'll be fine.
Right off the bat, by the way, Wendy is 30 times the parent her father ever was.
Yeah, she's telling her kids stories. She's trying to keep them safe and comfortable when, the worst, basically the end of the world is happening around them.
Yeah, and she throughout the beginning of the film never pressures Jane unless Jane is being overtly rude to her brother. Top-notch parenting.
She must be super patient because guess what? This is the most stressful time in her life.
Well, she's been ready to grow up since she was 10 and it's been 20 years. She's mastered it.
I'll say this too. Daniel, who is Jane's little brother, is way more likable than the little kid in the first movie.
It's probably because he's not in this movie for too long.
Well, but the thing is, he gets mad at Jane because she ignores him because he's a kid. And he gets sad about stuff that it would make sense to get sad about. And he gets nightmares. And all this is normal kid stuff that the kids in the original movie don't do. They're just goofy. And I mean, it's just this little bit, just a little bit of extra push. He's a character. He's a person. I am very sensitive to bad characters because I'm always afraid I'm going to make one. Like, that's the scariest thing to me. What if I make a character and it's completely two-dimensional? I don't realize it until it's too late.
Well, that's the thing, though. As silly as the first movie is, if Thomas or the younger brother, whose name I will never remember,
I don't know.
If they were only in the film for that beginning bit where they're playing around and they're like scolded by their dad and they have to go to bed and the younger one is like worried about the dog being outside, if they had just left it at that, he wouldn't have been a fully fleshed character, but he would have at least been likable. But as the film goes on...
Yeah, you're right. I don't actively start to dislike the little kid until later when he's just... clearly the little kid at every point.
Yeah, they really push on him being almost a baby, a toddler, very obviously a toddler, who can speak perfect English, though.
I also like this little, clever comeback when Wendy's telling Peter Pan stories and Jane calls him Poppycock. I'm
really happy that they did that. So Peter Pan steals this is in one of Wendy's stories, steals Captain Hook's treasure, hides it away, and then makes Captain Hook's ship fly. This is the fairest deal that Captain Hook has ever got out of Peter Pan. Like, this is such a good deal for, yeah, sure, you lost your treasure, bro, but you have a ship that can fly. You can leave. You can go home. And he does.
He could always leave. In the first movie, Smee tries to convince him to leave, and he just won't.
In the second movie, leaving is obviously harder.
Yes, it does suddenly become harder, but he can do it because he's got a flying ship, and he goes to another dimension, to London, to kidnap a little girl and gets the wrong one.
So not only does he go to... Captain Hook and the entire pirate crew got some straight up Batman lessons in between these two films, because they just open a window, disappear, and then appear behind Jane like it ain't no thing.
That's the thing. Captain Hook is a cool villain in this one. He's not the coolest villain.
He's still a coward.
He's still goofy. And he actually, it's not as gratuitously violent. He's not just killing people to kill people. When he does villainous things, they work, which is much more important. He wanted to kidnap a little girl. Do you know what he did? Kidnapped a little girl. He did it.
That's pretty evil. And yeah, he succeeds in this movie a lot.
That's the important part. That's what makes him a much better character.
Right. Oh, I'm going to backpedal a bit.
Okay, you backpedal, because there's just one little note I want to toss in once we get back to the pirates.
Yeah, so before Captain Hook shows up, the reason Jane gets into an argument with her is because Wendy gets a note that her children are to be evacuated to the countryside the next day.
Oh, yes.
Wendy's response is, "So soon?" ? And it's like, Wendy, the house right next to yours no longer exists. My question wouldn't be so soon. It would be, why hasn't this been done sooner? Holy shit, my kids could have died.
Yeah, I know, but you have to imagine that's rough, right? You're just sending them off to a random family in the northern part of England.
I mean, yeah,
and
it's rough.
Most kids aren't gonna get a Narnia house.
Then those kids are gonna lead happy, uneventful lives.
Yeah, and they're not all gonna die on a train in the most bullshit ending to any book series I've ever read. That's not true. I didn't like Animorphs either.
Animorphs' ending was better than most of that book series, though.
They'd won. Why didn't she end it when they won? This isn't important. We're getting off topic. Can we please go back to Peter Pan?
Yes, sorry. Yes, let's... real quick, wasn't there a direct-to-video Animorphs movie?
There definitely was.
Oh, man. All right, well, we'll talk about that later.
We're going to put a pin in that one.
Yeah, forever. A forever pin. So, yeah, I just wanted to bring up that I felt that reaction was a bit... I get it. I get that she wouldn't want her kids to leave, but the house right next to hers is gone.
Yeah, I get it.
That's how close they were to dying.
Well, they had a bomb shelter, though. But no, you're right. She should have been... Well, she said so soon. She wanted them to leave so they'd be safe. But she just wanted, I don't know, another week.
Another week? Every day is a day that her kids could die from bombs.
I'm aware, Andy, but sometimes when you love somebody,
You have to set them free.
That's true. You do have to set them free. She should have put them on a damn train. Send them to Canada. They can go to Canada. Be safe.
So Wendy gets into a fight, gets kidnapped by Captain Hook, gets taken to Neverland, and
Whoa.
Whoa.
One, I want to interrupt you because one of the things that really piqued my imagination happened in this scene. And two, it's Jane. You said Wendy, it's Jane.
Sorry, Jane.
That's probably going to happen a lot, actually.
Yeah.
But I love the idea that a flying pirate ship goes completely unnoticed among the bombing of London. Because they, run into planes. And those Germans are going back to the Fuhrer they have flying pirate ships. Okay, so Neverland is in another dimension. It's not just some random island.
Yeah, they fly through a kaleidoscope, the coolest kaleidoscope in movie history.
Yeah.
No, wait, that's not true. 2001: A Space Odyssey has a kaleidoscope.
I still haven't seen that movie.
It's very boring, but very good. So
Hook goes to feed Jane to an octopus.
Yes, which is a great plan. But before we get to that, this all happens in the first 10 minutes of the film, and in those 10 minutes, more has happened. There's more emotional and just raw physical tension in this movie in the first 10 minutes than in the entirety of the original Peter Pan.
Yes, because the only time there's any, I feel like there's ever any real tension in the original Peter Pan is when you're wondering if the gator's gonna kill Hook yet. Otherwise, there's no tension.
This movie is already I don't want to say better, but it's already more fun to watch.
It is, and I'm gonna say better. I remember, I have a note here that 11 minutes in, I stopped it and I was like, I already care so much more about these characters than I did the original.
So Jane is getting fed to an octopus, and Peter Pan shows up, I assume, just to taunt Captain Hook, as he does. Or Captain Hook invited him, because Captain Hook does know where Peter Pan lives, so he could just invite him to his ship whenever he wants to try out a plan.
Yeah. So Peter is still completely untouchable, but in this scene, he's more aware of how obnoxious he is, and I wrote down that he's more like Spider-Man than he is Peter Pan in the first movie. Because you know how Spider-Man's pretty obnoxious, but he's obnoxious on purpose?
He does it to kind of distract.
Yeah, he's just shooting off stupid one-liners the whole time. That seems to be what Peter Pan does in this movie.
Which is 100% a better direction for this kind of character.
And here's when the I'm free scene happens. And it's probably my favorite scene in the movie, only because I feel like that's where Hook was always supposed to be as a character.
It really shows us the extent to which he has obsessed over this.
And I like that they took him there.
So, we don't get to see Peter Pan save Wendy, but honestly, we don't need to because we knew it was going to happen. Sorry, Jane, fuck.
I'm just going to sit here and let you do that.
I'm just going to, give me a sec. I'm going to write Jane on my hand. Maybe if I write Jane on my hand, I won't forget.
Carve it into the flesh.
We don't need to see Peter Pan save Jane because we knew he was going to. It's one of those things that he shows up and we're like, of course he did. I'm an active viewer. I know how this is gonna go. But the ensuing scene is fantastic.
Yes, I thought it was done once again a lot better because we knew he was gonna show up and he showed up, but it wasn't boring like in the other movie. We knew he was gonna show up, but it was more like we were waiting for it. We were like, come on. Show up.
Tinkerbell reminding me that pixie dust in this movie, in this cinematic universe, has no rules because she throws apparently if you just throw enough pixie dust at something, it starts floating. And that octopus must have been thinking some really happy thoughts but he doesn't look it because he looks super scared when he lands on that ship.
That's true, because Jane needed to train to use pixie dust. That octopus is just, that octopus is like a Buddha. He is at peace.
He's always at peace. But until he gets a taste of Captain Hook, and he immediately is like, oh yes, I love the taste of codfish. I love the idea that whenever an aquatic creature eats Captain Hook, they just immediately love how he tastes.
Yes, I do love that too. But I also thought it was kind of weird that they didn't just bring the crocodile back.
They offhandedly mentioned that they got rid of it, but it's like, did you kill it? Did you make yourself some nice boots? What happened, man?
Yeah, did you escape from it? Did you trap it in ice? What happened?
At the same time, the octopus, once it gets a taste of Captain Hook, also kind of is probably Buddha, because he is immediately like, I understand what my role in this movie is. It is to remind Captain Hook of his impending death by snapping my tentacles in the rhythm of a clock.
He's not even, like, at the end of the movie, sorry, jump to the end of the movie, but at the end of the movie, he chases him slowly while snapping his tentacles. And it's like, whoa!
This octopus read the script of this film.
And he was like, I'm down.
Maybe it almost feels like they couldn't get the crocodile to come back, so they recast him as an octopus.
Yeah, that's what happened.
God, this movie is great.
Then Peter Pan goes to show Jane around the island.
Well, wait. Before he does that, he rescues Jane, who is still in a bag at this point, opens the bag up, and Jane clocks him right in the jaw.
Yes!
And it is
she does.
so satisfying. So satisfying to watch this fucker just get punched.
By the way, props on Jane for being the one girl who does not at some point fall in love with Peter Pan. Way to fucking go.
That being said, she does get really handsy with him later on in the film.
So, he takes her to see the island. They fly past a totem pole, which is the only reference that we ever see that there are natives on this island, and I'm glad they kept it that way.
I would have rather they'd just flown past the mermaids.
Yeah, so they go see the mermaids, and the mermaids don't try to kill her like they did Wendy. Instead, they try to dump water on her. And Tinkerbell also is more mischievous instead of murderous.
Yeah, I feel like in the last 50 years, mischievous women did not equal women who want to kill you. ooh, we finally learned the lesson that women who are mischievous don't want to kill you.
Yeah, I think that was it. I think it took that 50 years. I think we've evolved as a society.
Yeah, now those are two completely separate genres of women now.
We got femme fatales, and we got those other ones.
Wait, I don't think we have a cool name. Mischievous madams.
Manic pixie dream girls. No, it doesn't fit. Those are something else.
Opinionated alt chicks.
Oh, I got a cat. Don't brush up again. Don't brush out. Now she's on the microphone.
Oh, man.
We're just going to play this one by ear.
All right. So, this movie's so much fun to watch.
I know, it's so much, and I don't love this movie.
We'll talk about this, I think, when we get to our how we feel overall about this film.
Okay, yeah, but you're right. It is absolutely just a lot of fun to watch. I would watch it again if, like, I had a kid who was, like, into Peter Pan for some reason. I'd sit down and watch this movie. That's fine.
Yeah, sure. I wouldn't mind. I think at this point, I just want to talk about how shitty the music in this film is.
Here's the thing. It's so on point. Like, the lyrics, like, perfectly describe everything that's happening, and that's not what you want.
It's so on the... Like, even for a kid's film, it is way too on the nose. Like, oh, man.
And I think that's the issue. I don't think there was anything inherently wrong with the singer or the music. It's that the lyrics were so... Like, they felt like they'd been written in 5 minutes after somebody had watched the scene they were supposed to write it for.
This movie, it does a thing with its music that I really dislike it when movies do this, where characters are doing something and there is a song with lyrics playing over it.
I want to say, it's been a long time since I've seen Tarzan. I know Tarzan does that. I can't remember if they do it well.
They do it well, yes.
I feel like it does it well.
I mean, it's hard to go wrong with whatever that singer's name is. That guy.
I can't remember him off the top of my head. I know he's a big deal, though.
Yeah, he was in a rock band and people liked him, and I think he's Canadian.
Sure, all of those are plausible. So Peter Pan is aware of the effects he has on girls, which is so important to his character development, because in the last one he was just completely oblivious, which made him more childlike, right? But it also sort of made every woman who cared about him look goofy, because, like, what's the point if he doesn't even notice?
He cares so little in the first movie that he comes off as being down, not just playfully ignorant, but just kind of hurtfully ignorant sometimes. And this movie really, really makes him, like, he cares about the Lost Boys, he cares about Wendy, he cares about Jane. He's still kind of an asshole.
He is, but it's, like, tempered with all of his with all of his newfound good
qualities.
Thank you. His new characteristics that make him actually likable.
So Peter Pan showing Jane around the island, she seems to really enjoy herself in that montage.
Yeah, a bit, but it's like she also, at her core, and I mean, this obviously isn't shown in the montage, but at her core, she does not sort of like accept this.
Definitely.
She needs to go back to London. She just had a fight with her mom and she feels guilty about it. She wants to go apologize to Daniel and give him back his toy. And this might be an adult way of thinking, but that's like a nice way of thinking. Adults can think like some real assholes.
It just goes to show how great of a parent Wendy is, I think.
Yeah, probably.
But the moment Jane meets the Lost Boys, she is in a living nightmare.
Oh my god, yeah.
She wants nothing to do with anything that's going on.
There's just a lot of small children with weapons who are excited and distrustful at the same time, and it's like, that's too much. This is a 10-year-old girl. She should not have to deal with this. The thing is, 10-year-old girls have to deal with 10-year-old boys, but they have other 10-year-old girls to back them up.
Yeah, she has no one as far as she's concerned, and she doesn't deal with it. She just walks away. She leaves.
Yes, and then she builds a raft
and collects supplies.
She has the British flag on it.
Yeah, I noted down that too. Like, where did she get it?
Yeah, where did she get it? And I decided that she brought it into being out of sheer national pride.
She is so British and so proud of her country because it's the middle of World War II, damn it, that she just willed it into... It's Neverland. Anything can happen there with faith and trust and pixie dust.
They do keep saying faith, trust, and pixie dust a lot.
In this movie.
Because that was never said in the first movie. There was actually nothing about faith or trust. It was just about happiness.
It's said in the song. Yeah, they said it in the little song. All you need is a little faith and trust and something else.
Oh, okay.
And then that's when he spanks Tinkerbell's bottom.
And then he spanks Tinkerbell, and
Tony had to leave.
Only for that's not important.
Are you really? Don't give a time. Don't give a time.
Don't give a time. Only for 3 hours.
Okay, give me a minute.
Okay.
Oh, man. Okay. Oh, jeez. That's way too long. Wendy's explaining to him why she wants to go home, and... yes?
Jane is explaining to him.
Oh, man, this is gonna haunt me for the rest of my life. Jane is explaining to Peter why she wants to go home, and Peter Pan's reaction to most of it is just, why? Like, he's very petulant in this scene.
But it's petulant and also curious. And it makes a childlike thing more... It feels like you could put up with it more.
Yeah, like, he wants to understand, but he's also still a kid. And he's still annoying. And at one point, she says to him, like, because I told them that you didn't exist. And his reaction is like, why would you ever say that about a person? That's terrible. Of course I exist. I'm right here. Like, the thought never crosses... Like, I find it really interesting that the thought never crosses Peter Pan's mind that some people just don't believe in him.
Here's the thing. I only have, 10 notes for the rest of the movie. And it's not a lot. And I think I had just gotten into watching the movie. Because I don't really have anything about Captain Hook cornering Jane scene, and that scene's great. All I have is this note that says, I like this version of Captain Hook. He's got a first name and everything.
My favorite thing about that scene is Captain Hook's mom.
Captain Hook's mom, who's clearly just like him in a wig.
See, here's the thing, is it's either him in a wig, in drag, or that's actually what his mom looks like.
Just what his mom looks like.
And both scenarios are amazing.
She's dead, right?
Oh, she has to be. Captain Hook was a pirate during, the 1800s.
Yeah, in Disney's version of Neverland, you don't age while on Neverland. That's what it seems to be. And he's been in Neverland for a long time.
Hundreds of years.
Probably. Right? Just hunting Peter Pan, just caught up in Peter Pan's, like, web.
But there's this other side of the whole mythos. Wendy and her mom have all these stories about Peter Pan that they couldn't have known happened because they weren't there, but they are true.
Where do they get them from? Do children tell the stories? Or do mothers tell stories of Peter Pan, and they just, because he's in, like, some weird parallel dimension, happen to be correct?
I always assumed it was kind of just one of those things that, like, because children believe that it happened, it obviously happened. Yeah, like, it's kind of that mentality. That's the rule that they're going with. And so it kind of makes Neverland timeless. But Captain Hook's existence as a pirate from the 1800s means that Neverland could not have existed until Captain Hook did.
Or maybe it's like a Dread Pirate Roberts. Maybe there's always been a Captain Hook, but he's been different people. Maybe Neverland is floating on the skeletons, all of them wearing hooks.
So every time Peter Pan accidentally kills a Captain Hook, he just goes kidnaps another one?
Yeah, or another one, maybe he doesn't even need to kidnap him. Maybe he just floats in. Or maybe he goes out and finds the first ship. By the way, I think we're currently writing a fan fiction of Peter Pan, and I really like it. I'm into it.
In one of the original, I don't know if this is in the book or not, but I have heard this, is that some of the Lost Boys that grow up and don't get killed by Peter Pan join Captain Hook's crew, and that's why they follow Captain Hook, because they also hate Peter Pan for trying to kill them just for growing up. And that makes a lot of sense, but it still doesn't explain who the fuck Captain Hook is.
I don't know if he ages in the original stories, but he doesn't age in this.
It's very curious. As a quick aside, there's a moment when Jane meets the Lost Boys where Peter Pan and the Lost Boys spit into their hands and then shake hands, and there is so much animation put into this scene. Like,
yeah,
they went all out.
There's like all the spit like flying everywhere and sticking to each other. There's a lot of work in that scene.
Yeah, they put a lot of work into making that spit look as disgusting as possible.
But it really drove home that she was the only girl in the room.
Not 2 minutes after this scene, when Jane says, "Hey, I'm taking off," she reaches out to shake Peter Pan's hand, and Peter Pan's all, "I don't know what a handshake is. Fuck off, you just shook hands with all the Lost Boys 2 minutes ago."
Here's the thing, that I didn't even notice that because I was worried about the fact that she reached out to shake his hand. Like, what? You just saw that go down.
Because she's an adult, and adults shake hands.
Okay, but he's gross.
Yeah, he's a gross boy that never ages, so he's forever gross.
Then she gets into a fight with Peter Pan for existing, I guess, and yells that Tinkerbell doesn't exist. And everybody is, like, offended about it, but nobody seems to understand that it's basically the worst thing you can say to a fairy.
I don't understand how the rules of fairies are, because, like, Peter Pan and the Lost Boys add up to, I think, about 7 people.
And they all should believe in fairies enough for that to work, right?
For Jane not believing in fairies to single-handedly kill Tinkerbell at her core, like, her disbelief is so strong, she is like a level 9000 god, because their belief does nothing.
I won't say that it makes sense, but it is a reference to the original book, because Wendy kills Tinkerbell. She just says, "I don't believe in fairies," and Tinkerbell just dies, and she's like, oh, and Peter's like, "You have to clap and say you believe in fairies, and then she'll get back up," and so she does that, and she gets back up. I've never read the book. I'm told that this happened.
I don't know. It's a double-edged sword for fairies to bank on, like, people believing in them to bring them back to life. Because, like, on the one hand, yeah, sure, you dying is a pretty great way to get somebody to instantly believe in fairies out of guilt. But also, Jane doesn't care.
Well, here's the thing. There's a couple things about this. One, if I remember correctly, fairies can't really get hurt in the Peter Pan universe. They can only be hurt by not
believing in them.
Believed in.
And it's instantly fatal.
And 2, there is a Peter Pan story where he has grown some, because despite the fiction that surrounds him, in the stories he ages, but like not at a regular pace. There is a Peter Pan story where I guess he's like given up being some sort of pixie god and just like becomes a person, and like Wendy asks him about Tinkerbell and he has forgotten about her. And then he says, "Oh, I know who you're talking about. I think she went away." it is understood in this scene that because he grew up and stopped believing in fairies, Tinkerbell died.
It's also entirely possible, like, that as he's growing up, Tinkerbell makes the decision consciously, like, I have to go.
I guess, but I don't think that was how it was implied in the book. The books were actually dark. Like you said, he was killing Lost Boys. Like, that's not okay.
Immediately after Jane storms off after not believing in fairies, the movie decides to flash back to the entire beginning of the film.
Oh, yeah, that was weak.
We spend 2 minutes rewatching the first 10 minutes of the film 30 minutes into this movie.
Yeah, I was going to say, I only saw it like half an hour ago. I don't need to see it again.
I'm not a mathematician. Oh, wait, yes, I am. That's fucking stupid. Like, don't do that in your movie. Like, holy shit.
I'm imagining you in front of a chalkboard with this huge, long, like, algebraic formula.
It just ends with...
equals fucking stupid.
Because it's the one thing this movie does that I thought was really bad.
It's like they needed to kill, like, 5 minutes to make it full length, and they didn't have anything.
Then we finally get to the Captain Hook scene where he kind of swindles her into helping him. And she, in a scene that would make Batman proud, reverse Batman's Captain Hook and manages to not only sneak up behind him, but also steal his sword, which was sheathed.
I feel like he'd set that up, but I could be remembering wrong. But let's not forget that at the end of that scene, he fades into the trees like a fucking tiger.
Like, okay, so first of all, girl, don't trust a guy who hears things about you from, quote, sources. This is some primetime dating advice. If a guy hears about you from sources, that's a guy that's not to be trusted.
Well, it's the 21st century. He saw you on Facebook.
Second thing, if he calls Facebook sources, you have a whole different problem.
That's true. It actually is. He could have said, I saw you on Facebook. He could not be an asshole about it.
Secondly, hey Jane, your mom Wendy told you stories about Captain Hook growing up. You know that he can't be trusted. You know this intrinsically. This is a thing you know about him.
That's a good point. I didn't really think about that. I knew that she knew about Captain Hook, but she must have heard a lot of stories that are about him betraying people. Because that's like his deal. He makes these promises that technically aren't lies, and then like swoops in through the loophole. And she should have seen this coming.
She makes him promise not to lay a hand or a hook on Peter Pan. And Captain Hook responds, I promise I will not harm a single hair on his head, setting up one of the greatest comebacks in the history of Disney films.
I love that, because I was watching it, I'm like, I don't see how he said he wouldn't hurt him. And I was like, isn't he supposed to like slither out of it? He's not going to straight up break his word. That's not what he does. And then he comes back with this is the single hair I won't hurt.
It's so good. I bet the writing room, the poor people who had to write this movie that day walked out of the writing room like, not only we fucking knocked it out of the park, we nailed it, you guys. High five. Who cares that we're stuck making this Disney sequel? This line is amazing.
We're getting drinks for the good reason.
So Jane is given a whistle by Captain Hook to let him know where the treasure is. And Peter Pan realizes that the only way to bring Tinkerbell back to life is to make Jane believe in fairies again. So they both meet up and just low-key start manipulating each other. And the movie doesn't go into this, but I really wish it did, because I think it's kind of great.
I feel like that whole scene, they did like a montage, but I feel like that whole scene should have been like longer and better drawn out in the way that she was trying to find the treasure and he was trying to get her to believe in fairies. And like she immediately decides that she's not gonna blow the whistle.
The movie makes the mistake of having a character change in the middle of a music number.
Yeah, and once again, we said this last time, but I do think it can be done well. I've seen it be done well, but, you know, Disney sequel, you can't fall into that trap.
Also, that song is particularly egregious. It is just noise.
Yeah, I don't even remember it, but her, like, goofing off and maybe starting to believe in Peter Pan and fairies and Neverland more, and maybe starting to think less and less that she should get out of here by getting this treasure. that would have been a little bit better. And the way they did it was boring. It was passable, I think. You know?
It's just competent enough that it doesn't make me mad, but it does make me wish it was better.
It doesn't hurt the story, but it doesn't add to the story. That's what it is. You know that she won't blow the whistle because she wouldn't be a likable character if she did. So you know that she won't blow the whistle, so she doesn't. And then a kid blows the whistle.
And she immediately is horrified.
And then she still gets the audience liking her and the betrayal points.
So Peter Pan and the Lost Boys get kidnapped by Hook. Hook drops that killer line.
Mad ups to Hook for kidnapping Peter Pan. Bravo.
The scene where the pirates throw ropes over his wrists to capture him so that he can't fly away, that's great. They capture him. Peter Pan gets really mad at Jane. I almost called her Wendy again. Gets really mad at Jane and yells at her, because of you, Tinkerbell's dying because you don't believe in fairies. Or sorry, her light's gonna go out because you don't believe in fairies.
Right, they don't say dying because it's a sequel.
Yeah, and Jane is immediately distraught. Like, she betrayed Peter Pan. She feels bad about it. She just found out that Tinkerbell is dying. So she runs over to Peter Pan's house. By the way, again, just to remind everybody, Captain Hook knows where Peter Pan lives now.
Yeah, that's never really addressed. But once again, maybe your theory is right. And since they're like inside stories, he can't go attacking the house again. But yes, he does know where Peter Pan lives, and Tinkerbell lives in a little like hovel part of the tree and dies there.
Wendy finds her.
You did it again.
Oh my goodness. Jane makes it to Peter Pan's treehouse.
I hope you're keeping score at home, because I'm not. Leave us a comment on iTunes on how often Andy calls Jane Wendy.
So often.
I'm also told that's how we actually get new viewers, so.
That would be great.
Yeah, so do that. Anyway.
Tell people about
Jane
us.
finds Tinkerbell.
Jane finds Tinkerbell, and Tinkerbell's light is already out, and Jane feels so sad that she starts crying, giving me further proof that Simba just didn't cry hard enough to bring his dad back to life. Because it seems to work.
Andy, no.
It seems to work for everyone else. If you just cry hard enough, people come back to life.
Not before there is, like, just the worst continuation of this song, where the girl sings something like, "Now I have to believe," or something. And it's like, Jesus Christ, lady.
It's so, and she's not a bad singer. It's just the words that she's singing are terrible.
It's like somebody paid the lyricist $15 and said, write something for the new Peter Pan movie. And whoever this lyricist was said, okay.
Sure, why not? So Tinkerbell comes to life, and Jane is immediately like, I have a plan to save everybody. Let's go.
Let's go. Do you know what? I survived bombs, Tinkerbell. Let's get this done.
We immediately cut to Peter Pan Captain Kirking his way through this scenario. Like, don't harm my boys, only harm me. And Captain Hook is like, Captain Hooking his way through this scene.
Obviously. This
interaction is my favorite. Like, there are a lot of great visual gags in this movie. This scene has my favorite one, where Captain Hook ties Peter Pan to an anchor to ensure his death. No, sorry, shackles him to an anchor to ensure his death. Good on you, Captain Hook. You're really thinking this one through.
It's pretty smart, yeah.
As Peter Pan walks the plank, he turns around and is met by a wall of swords, and he tells the Lost Boys, "Don't let them see you cry, man." And the Lost Boys shift to the other side of the mast that they're tied to and start sobbing as loudly as they can. And it is the best visual gag in a movie filled with pretty great visual gags.
But here's the thing that I really like about this movie. So about 3 times in the last movie, Peter saves everyone. He just swoops in and saves everyone. In this movie, that's completely subverted. Peter is in serious shit. And so Jane swoops in and saves everyone. And it's great, because once again, I knew it was going to happen. I didn't know how she was going to do it, and I was excited to learn.
It's pretty great. And yeah, and they totally save the day. They take out the pirates, and in like a scene that's really like, this is an idea only a kid would think of. they start throwing the jewelry and the gold in the treasure chest overboard to get the pirates to not attack them.
Yeah, and they all dive overboard after it. I thought that was a little goofy, but there was a lot of goofy stuff in this movie, and it wasn't bad.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty, like, and not only that, but from like a little kid standpoint, I think it would work really well.
Yeah, it seems like the greatest plan ever.
Peter Pan this entire time actually is tied up, and just watching this happen.
He doesn't get to act in this final climactic scene yet, which is pretty important because he's sort of
he's a bit OP.
He's a bit OP. He's kind of a Mary Sue character, you know?
And they really fixed that in this film.
I think they did, yeah. Well, it's sort of like, and I hate to keep referencing other films, but I'm gonna do it.
It's a good way.
You know, in The Princess Bride, how Wesley is super OP and he can do anything he wants.
Yes.
And then he dies. Well, he does. He dies, and then he can't do anything he wants anymore. And so he still wins in the end, but it's interesting because you have him starting at the highest he can start at and just slammed him down to nothing, and now he's still got to win. And that's sort of what they do with Peter in this movie.
It's good storytelling to either have somebody who's at the bottom rise to the occasion, or has somebody who's already met the occasion fall below it and then kind of have to re-rise. They're both good arcs. And almost did it again. Jane gets into a mano-a-mano fight with Captain Hook, almost loses, and then trust falls into the sea, only to be caught by Faith and Trust and Pixie Dust and flies her way out of it.
And that was a great scene. It was a little bit gratuitous because I was thinking, well, at any point during this whole hyping herself up moment, Hook could just stab her.
Oh yeah, no. She very much could have either already jumped off instead of monologuing, and Hook could have totally run her through while she was monologuing. But it's a kid's film, so, like, whatever.
But I also feel like if she had jumped off and been able to fly, then kids would have still gotten it.
Yeah, they would have understood.
But that's such a little, like, nitpicky thing in this big, pretty decent final battle, you know?
Yeah, it's a pretty good climax. And she frees Peter Pan, who immediately, like, Peter Pan's his way out of the situation. He defeats Captain Hook, and the crew have already kind of belayed themselves onto a lifeboat for the ending of this film.
Because they all had to jump after the treasure, and then, of course, who shows up?
But everyone's favorite octopus.
Well, I mean, I know other octopus. You know, it's fine. It's fine. He could be my favorite right now.
Everyone's favorite recast. The octopus shows up. He has grown since the last time we saw him because he is now the size of this ship, or the ship has shrunk. Both are entirely possible.
I think don't they destroy the ship with the octopus?
So Peter Pan drops the anchor that he was tied to onto Captain Hook while Captain Hook is falling, and Captain Hook crashes through the ship, lands on the octopus. The octopus chases him through the ship, and in the process he makes that hole even bigger. As the ship is sinking, Peter Pan says, "You know, Captain Hook, every good captain has to go down with his ship." And in a line that perfectly epitomizes Captain Hook's character, he says,
yeah, I do love this line.
"I don't want to be a good captain."
I love that. That line and the "I'm free" line are my favorite Captain Hook bits. I love Captain Hook in this movie.
He's a likable villain. He's not any better as a villain. We see him succeed more. It makes his failures taste sweeter.
And also, we sort of get a look into his mind, the kind of mind that's been chasing a small child for decades, at least.
For a long time.
Possibly centuries.
They win. Captain Hook and the crew are all chased away by the octopus, who now realizes, I'm a pretty big guy. I could probably eat all of them.
Yes.
The movie kind of wraps itself up really quickly, but that's kind of okay because the last movie kind of wrapped up too quickly as well.
Yeah, it did. It sort of just, oh, don't worry, Jane, don't worry, one day you can, oh, I did it backwards. Did you hear that? Don't worry, one day you don't have to grow up, and then that's sort of it.
And then in this film, you know, Jane kind of resigns herself, like she's learned her lesson, and she says, well, I guess it's time for me to go home. And Peter's like, yep, let's get you there. And her and him and the Lost Boys and Tinkerbell, although the Lost Boys don't make it, I assume they just flew back home.
Yeah, I guess. It seems like fairy dust doesn't last as long in the second movie.
Yeah, it definitely has a timer on it. Side note, Jane is much better at flying than her mother ever was. She immediately gets the hang of it.
That's true, but also her mother could fly for longer. So it's like maybe she wasn't using the dust at its full power.
She was flapping, putting a lot of shoulder into that flying.
Maybe she was just thinking about how birds do it.
Jane and Peter fly back to London, and Jane wakes up at home. And this always confused me because the last movie did this as well. It really makes the whole movie feel like it was all a dream.
But then they make it clear that it's not.
It's very clearly not.
Yeah, because even after they wake up and it was like, oh, it's all a dream. I mean, there was a boat in the first movie that everybody saw. And then in the second movie, we have the sort of fateful Peter and Wendy scene.
Which is done really well.
I thought it was done pretty well, but I was sort of wondering the whole movie if they were going to do it. Especially that last scene, it looks like they're going to have a really, poignant Peter looks at her and then runs away thing.
And then they subvert it.
And then they do subvert it.
Wendy sees Peter and kind of is like, I always believed in you. And he's like, of course you did. I'm me. And then he leaves and everyone says goodbye. And little Daniel's like, see, Peter Pan, he's totally real.
Oh, and then Jane starts telling him like a Peter Pan story. And that's kind of nice.
That's so cool. And Nana, too, is way more into these Peter Pan stories than Nana ever was.
Yeah, Nana was not
having it.
Not having it at all. And there's a good reason for that. It's because Peter Pan kidnaps people, is a psychopath. And this version of Peter Pan is, once again, softer in a lot of ways. More likable, more relatable.
And then, just in time for the end of the movie, their dad comes home, I assume in a stolen truck, because he's all alone in it.
Yeah, here's the thing about this scene. It's gotta be the most bittersweet return. So, it's the middle of a war. He might be injured. In that case, he could come home. He might have run away. In that case, he could come home. I can't think of another reason why unless he'd been dishonorably discharged.
No, he could be on leave.
He could also be on leave. But either way, those kids still have to leave in the morning.
Yeah, they still have to go to the countryside. But for a moment, they get to be a family again.
It seems like a pretty bittersweet pill to swallow, personally. All I was thinking at the end of the movie was that a pretty good place to wait out the Blitz would be Neverland.
Yeah, because time passes for the rest of the world, even though it doesn't in Neverland. Sort of, I guess.
Well, although sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. She spent days in Neverland. Jane did. And so did Wendy.
Yeah, but it's only a night in real time.
So time definitely passes more strangely.
Yeah, I guess the rules of Neverland just follow the whims of the story, which in any other situation would be a shitty cop-out, but in this kind of works just because of how abstracted everything is.
Yeah, it's also like sort of another Narnia thing, where when you're there it takes no time, but once you leave, like hundreds of years could pass or something, which was actually one of my issues with Narnia growing up. I was like, well, I just got used to these characters. Now I guess they're all dead. I have to keep bringing up Narnia because the kids run away from the Blitz. That's why.
Yeah, and so this movie kind of ends on that bittersweet note, but characters had arcs, and it was fine. And the end, a quick aside on the end, I don't know if you watched the end credits at all.
Was there something important?
Well, no, just they were pretty good credits. Like they had this little storybook thing going on with them that was nice.
Okay, I think I saw maybe the first couple credits, so I didn't stay to watch and see if the rest looked as good, which I probably should have.
I think it's only the prelim credits. Like afterwards, it does kind of go back to the whole names scrolling up in a black void. But it was nice that they did that. Songs are still terrible though, unfortunately.
Oh yeah.
The two big things that this movie does bad is the music, which is
the lyrics are so bad,
and the 2-minute montage where we get to rewatch the first 10 minutes again. I didn't need that.
Yeah, that was also bad. But otherwise, it's a pretty solid movie. It's not going to be anybody's favorite movie, I think, but it could pretty easily be somebody's favorite Peter Pan movie, especially animated Peter Pan movie.
The word I would use to describe this movie is it's...
After I watched Peter Pan, the word I used to describe it is irredeemable.
Yeah, the first Peter Pan is absolute. It is irredeemable in almost every way. Like again, if you really want to look into like the history of Disney or the history of animation, it's still worth watching, but it is very much a product of its time.
Do you know what I heard this described? I heard this trait described before. This movie just has heart. Yeah, it does. And it's like, it's got a lot of flaws, and it's not great. It's got a decent story. It's got good character arcs. And at the end of the day, you want to care about these characters.
And not only that, but this movie has a lot of just little moments between certain characters that are great. It's not perfect, but it's also largely really good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And also, once again, compared to Peter Pan, it might as well be perfect.
When you set the bar that low, I mean, it's a lot easier to watch, for sure. It's a lot more fun to watch. It's uninsulting.
Especially after Peter Pan. That's a good way to describe it. Uninsulting. You can sit down, you can watch it, you can stand back up and say that was pretty good. I believe, unless you have any objections, I believe it's my turn to choose the next movie.
Yeah, nope, it's your go. Hit me with your best shot.
So the sequel is probably going to be terrible, but at least the original Disney movie is just like regular fun, and I don't have to sit through Peter Pan again. So we're going to watch Kronk's New Groove.
Oh, no. I watched this movie twice.
I have never seen it.
So yeah, give us a quick review on iTunes or Google Play. Something else that we should do is tell people where they can find us as people.
That's a good idea. Do you want to kick it off?
Yeah, sure. You can find me at twitter.com. That's going to be at royaltyvalens. So that's ROYALTY _ because it's important, VALENS.
And the funny thing is, that is a fairly new username, and it really gave me a jolt a week ago when I tried to tweet at him. I was like, whoa, wait a second, that's not right.
I changed it just recently because I was like, A, I've been needing to change my username, and B, I needed to change it to something that was easy to find and, like, tell people about. Synergy. Business.
Yeah.
I'm doing it all.
Good. And if you want to find me on the internet, I am also at twitter.com. At TheaterBats, that is...
Did you spell it theatre or theater?
Theater. No, it's THEATER, Bats. And I also have a comic at inspiredbytrueevents.org, which you might like if you like hearing about us talking about like stupid shit for 2 hours.
It's in the same ballpark. And then a really quick plug, just so that if people want to watch a good Peter Pan movie, it does exist. It is a 2003 movie. Go look it up. It is fantastic. It is not on Netflix, unfortunately, but it's worth watching.
Man, I should watch this movie. It sounds good. You're really selling me on it.
I really like it. And it is way better than the original Peter Pan movie. And Walter Isaacs is in it as Captain Hook, and that's a great casting decision.
That seems like a really good casting decision, actually. I feel like he could definitely pull that off.
It's a fun movie. The CGI is a bit rough because it did come out in the early 2000s. Actually, it came out at about the time
that this one will come out, right?
Yeah, so it's a bit rough to watch, okay. But it's fun.
Thank you so much for listening. I am Tony Robusto.
And I am Disney apologist Andres Reyes.
And next week we are watching Kronk's New Groove.
Okay, just a real quick aside. The Native American girl that he rescues, her name is Princess Tiger Lily, and there are 3 reasons why her name is so fucked up. Princesses didn't exist in Native American culture, tigers didn't exist in North America, and lilies didn't exist in North America. Like, what the fuck is this name?
I was not aware that lilies did not exist in North America.
There is probably a species of lily that did, but it was definitely not called a fucking lily.
Yeah, you're right. That's pretty terrible.
Like, and that's the least offensive part of all of the Native American stuff. Is her name? That is the least offensive part.